Hello, everybody. We are delighted to see so many of you who have logged in for the launch of the Chennai chapter of the Forum of Critical Utility Services this evening. Thank you very much to each one of you who have become a part of the launch of the Chennai chapter. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We should start our program very soon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are logged in today for the launch of the third chapter of the Forum of Critical Utility Services. We launched the Bangalore chapter on December 14, 2020, and the Mumbai chapter on the 6th of April, 2021. Today, it is with pride we launch the Chennai chapter of Focus, the second chapter to be formed in the south of India. We are confident that we shall very soon be successful in launching other chapters in the cities of Delhi and Ahmedabad, followed by several other chapters across the country. We are humbled and absolutely delighted to have two eminent guests who will inspire us with their address. Our chief guest for this evening is Shri Ajit Chodia and Shri Ranganath N. Krishna. We at Focus are ever so thankful for the support from our Vice President, Dr. Velan, for his deep commitment and involvement in putting this event together. We are also thankful for the support we have received from Primaire and Canadian Crystalline Group, our sponsors this evening for the launch of the Chennai chapter. Like always, we will start the program with the lighting of the lamp that, as per our culture and custom, signifies the removal of darkness and ushers in the light of knowledge. May we have the lighting of the lamp, please.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampada. Shatru buddhi vinashaya deepajyotir namostute. Deepajyotir namostute.
It is now with pride and humbleness that we will play a short video that truly describes the aims, objectives, vision, and the mission of the Forum of Critical Utility Services. Could we have the focus video, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are delighted to present to you the Forum of Critical Utility Services, the acronym of which is FOCUS. Much as the acronym suggests, the role of the Forum of Critical Utility Services is to bring in focus all that concerns the construction industry. This is not just for India, but for a coordinated construction industry world over. For those of you who may not be aware, this initiative is to prepare and present a platform where all the verticals of the critical utility services of the construction industry forge into one formidable group that will strive in building unity, aid in diffusing misconceptions, and present itself as a platform for discussions amongst these bodies of professionals. This initiative was born on the 26th of October 2020, when the world was almost silent from the after effects of the pandemic. We say silent because the cry for help and riddance from the clutches of the pandemic were deafening. There simply was no place that was safe anywhere in the world. None of the formidable structures that man had erected was safe for protection from the pandemic. It was during these times that we decided on creating a platform so as to be able to present improved and concerted methodologies of developing projects that shall not just be sustainable or resilient, but also deliver safe environment and a valuable business opportunity to the promoters, not just for some time, but for long time to come. Times when another generation will inherit the good work that we do today. Our efforts begin with drawing the strength from the fields of architecture, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, safety, fire, security, illumination, vertical transportation, IBMS and IT, solid waste management, and last but not the least, facility management. Bring them together and forge them into one strong wheel of change to deliver structures that stand in harmony with Mother Nature on planet Earth. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our mission. Only when we come together and share our ideas and aspirations will we find the stumbling blocks. It is here then that when we are together and focus towards one goal, we will jointly be able to understand and address our challenges as one formidable force. Not just a force in India, but for a global movement that will find solutions, opportunities, and the means to address productivity, safety, quality, developing skills, training, evolving standards, and ensuring their implementation, thereby becoming centers of excellence and setting benchmarks for generations to pursue and improve. And this is our vision. We have embarked upon reaching out to various verticals of the critical utility services. We will thereafter jointly present our cause to the government and policymakers. We will present our vision to the builders. And we are confident that we will break the shackles of inequality, indifference, ignorance, and mistrust, and build a world that is one with nature. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not here to conjure a forum, but we are here to establish a body that shall have trust, integrity, and honesty for its foundation, and stand on the pillars of knowledge, commitment, enthusiasm, and foresight of its people. Our invitation to you is open. Come and become a part of Focus. It is your contribution and support to Focus that will make a difference to the new India that is being created. Let's join and make this the Bharat that we wear, shining, prosperous, bright, and a true world leader. Let's now focus.
I'm sure with this video, all of you must be very clear of what Focus aims to achieve, not just in India, but in its own small way impact the construction industry across the globe. The address now by our president, Mr. V. Suresh, the doyen of the construction industry in India, will dispel any doubts you may have had and give you a perspective. Before I invite our president, Mr. V. Suresh, you must know something about him. Mr. V. Suresh has over 56 years of experience in housing, urban development, infrastructure, real estate, and sustainable development sectors. He's a civil engineer from Anna University, College of Engineering, Guindy, Chennai. He has 13 years of experience dealing in BIS standards, codes, and National Building Code, where he continues to be associated for all the versions of the NBC, including NBC 2016, where he's the vice chairman. He was in HUDCO for over 23 years, where he rose to be the chairman and managing director. During his tenure at HUDCO registered all-round growth. Mr. V. Suresh was also the president of IBC, NAREDCO, and he is now the chairman of IGBC. He has received over 17 awards, the leading one being Doyen of the Construction Industry by CIDC, Lifetime Achievement Award from IBC, the latest being the Gaurav 2020 Award from ACCE. He is the founder president of the Forum of Critical Utility Services. May I request Mr. V. Suresh to now deliver his address.
A very happy good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a great pleasure, honor, and privilege to address you on this wonderful evening for the launch of the Chennai chapter of Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, we launched ourselves 6.5 months back on the 26th of October, and ever since we got Focus started, there has been such an amount of enthusiasm and support from different parts of the country, and we could spread our wings to Bangalore first and followed by Mumbai, and here we are, the third chapter opening in one of the biggest metropolis of this country, that is in Chennai. What is more gratifying is the fact that Focus is the only body of this nature with a multidisciplinary platform for all the critical utility services, and one of its kind in the whole world. We don't have a similar body of that, even though many other organizations are to deal with each of the individual verticals, but never have a combined body to not only coordinate and integrate as with a comprehensive approach as Focus has got. No wonder after the launch of Focus, it has received international attention in a large way, and we have a large number of links which has come from the United States of America, from the United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, Australia, Singapore, and also from Hong Kong. I'm very happy that Focus will also very shortly go global with the type of interlinks that we can have with the best possible practices that are adopted in different parts of the world to be also shared among all the Indian practitioners. And therefore, it's a happy augury that the Focus going global would also be of great help for us in terms of international cooperation as well as working together. And for this, I'm indeed happy that we have the gracious presence of Mr. Ajit Chodia as the chief guest of the day, who is also a leading light for the green building movement and is a vice chair for the Chennai chapter. And I'm so happy you could find time and give the right level of inputs for our wonderful program today. And what else can I ask for than the participation of Ranganath Krishnaji, one of my very close colleagues in the CII system, who has played a great role, not only as an outstanding industrialist in the pumps and water sector, and more importantly, the CII leadership on the water sector, the leadership that he has given. And we are happy that he is here as the guest of honor. And the whole program being led by a wonderful team with Dr. S. Kalirajan, himself a major actor in this particular sector, along with Mr. Akilan Nadeshan to co-chair the Chennai chapter. Chennai is one of the outstanding places, according to me, not because I studied in Chennai, I was really brought up there, all my engineering. I all know Chennai by the palm of my hand, and therefore I'm happy that we are having the best possible people either in civil engineering or structural engineering or MEPF sector, including the BIM sector in a large way, and also safety security area. So rightly positioned, I'm sure the Chennai chapter would be able to flourish in a large way with all the participants, with all the multi-sectoral disciplined people working in this particular sector joining in this. I was very happy about 1.5 months back when we had the first meeting of the Chennai chapter before its launch, a pre-launch meeting that we had. We had such an amount of enthusiastic participation from all concerned in the sector, and that's a clear signal. And I can see today also the same thing getting reflected. At the end of the day, focus is all about the institution as a professional platform for a multidisciplinary segment of work. And therefore, our initiative has always been through this 21 verticals, which have been there for different segment of the critical utility services. And each one of them are already doing very well at the national level, these 21 chapters. And I'm very keen that the Chennai chapter also will have a similar modules available within their own particular organization setup, so they can be working with an umbilical relationship with the national vertical chapter over there. For example, I'm extremely happy that the group on electrical installations under the leadership of Bhavani Prasadji has already had the first round of not only the initial meeting, the first approach document has also been done in the last few weeks time period. In terms of the programs of the various chapters which are there, and we are also on the right track, thanks to Dominic for the initiative on marketing and events activity. I'm equally glad that all the events of the focus has got interesting and very important participation of all the stakeholder associations in this particular sector, be it the Indian Green Building Council or NAFO or the initiative of IBMA plus IAPMO and CREDAI and NAREDCO, all these professional bodies which are in their own sector working, including in the segment on air conditioning, on ISHRE and other organizations. They're also working very, very closely with Focus, because Focus is the interdisciplinary platform where each one of those individual organizations are dealing with that one particular segment there. So we're giving a meeting place for all of them to work together on one platform. I'm very grateful to all the fraternal associations for coming together and working along with Focus. We already have the major program on facade and fire protection, doors and other related one as the first event, followed by BIM with Amarnath based in Chennai, who is also the president of the IBMA, taking a major lead for the BIM related initiative. And the third major event on security under the good leadership of Ashish Dakkanji, who is also chair for the security side. And he has also rightly indicated the important place in the smart city development in a large way at the building as well as at the macro level as well. And the next one on the agenda we have is a program on the lifts and escalators under the leadership of Tak Matthew, who is also chair for the National Building Code session on lifts and escalators. And we are also happy that it also has the good link with the security component where Ashish Dakkan will also be joining. This is exactly the spirit that I am looking forward, where the interaction that will be coming between each one of the services is also brought out very well. Needless to say, we'll have electrical installation component coming the next one on the line, and the automated mechanical multi-level car parking as the sixth one. So you see in a short little point of time, the knowledge series is really taking off, where each of the slices of critical services is coming in a very large way. And I'm very happy that all the verticals are really combining their work together. And I'm sure once Chennai chapter also has got the segments coming over there, their inputs also will be of great source. So when I talk of the Chennai chapter, I cannot stop with only the name of the team here, but all that has come through two outstanding mentors, my Vice President, Dr. C. Velan, as well as Ravi Shankar Tandavan, who is chair for the Policy and Advocacy Committee, who has been nursing this chapter very well, along with Dr. Kaliraj. So I'm very happy that they are here today, and I should place on record my appreciation for the great work. Membership is an important component for any organization. From a short little number, we're very happy we crossed the century mark just less than a month back, and today we are around 130, and our own vision is to see that we achieve at least 200 in the next 1 month's time. And I'm sure with the new chapters coming, all new members coming, all of them will also join the Focus team as full-fledged members. I'm sure with these particular initiatives, the Chennai chapter will take off into a very large way. And I want to offer my very best wishes. These are COVID times where the whole nation and Tamil Nadu are coping with that with the best possible protection and the right protocols to be observed so that all of them are staying fully protected. We wanted to have this as a physical program. We even changed the original date to today's to the date of today, primarily to make it physical. But that having not happened, we'll come back to the virtual platform program of the launch of the initiative. But I'm sure in the next over 2 to 3 months, the curve has come down from 4 lakhs plus for the whole country. We have come down 2.6 lakhs plus. That means the curve is coming down, plateauing down, and it's a good news that the next 2 to 3 months time period, India will be freer from the COVID-2 attack as well, but you got to be careful about the COVID-3 possibility. So all of us should stay protected, and therefore all the inputs that come into the critical services which contribute to the infection control as well as other aspects, we should really take into account. I want to offer my very best wishes to the whole new team under Dr. S. Kalirajan, as well as Akil and Nateshan, and the team with their management group, all the success for really becoming a model chapter in the whole country. As I said, what all we have happened, we are also on the line for opening up the Ahmedabad chapter, the Pune chapter, and the Visakhapatnam chapter very shortly, including one in Kerala. But at this point of time, I thought the way in which Chennai will start off, because Tamil Nadu is one of the best states with the maximum amount of distribution in the urban context over there. So I'm looking forward with the type of Chennai start coming. We'll have one coming in Coimbatore as well as Madurai and Trichy to follow. So once again, my very best wishes to the team for a successful launch of the chapter and for adding multi-dimensional activities over the next few weeks, months, and years to come. Thank you for all your gracious participation and presence. Once again, it heartens me and also encourages me that we are on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh, for that lovely overview and the outlook that you have provided, sir. I'm delighted to now introduce our Vice President, Dr. C. Velan. Dr. Velan is currently working as City Head, Chennai Operations at Ascenders India, a Singapore-based organization and involved in its IT and industrial park establishments. Earlier, he was working at Tata Realty Infrastructure Limited, TRIL, as CEO for TRIL's flagship project, Ramanujan IT City in Chennai, and successfully established it as one of the most happening IT projects in India. With his perseverance, he completed the construction, overall leasing, and operationalized the 4.5 million square feet IT SEZ. He has more than 30 years of corporate experience with blue-chip Indian and overseas companies that include Eicher Motors, Color Chem, CB Richard Ellis, Tatas, and Ascenders. Graduated in civil and structural engineering with a post-graduation in business administration, as well as master's in ecology and environment. He has a PhD degree in civil engineering, and for the research work mainly focused on an area which is based on the need of the hour subject, sustainable design of green buildings. He was awarded with Professor of Eminence from Manon Manian Sundarnar University, adjunct faculty from SRM University, Chennai, fellowship from Indian Green Building Council, executive committee board member in Indian Green Building Congress, real estate professional of the year 2015 from CMO Asia, Singapore, member of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. Dr. Velan will now deliver his address.
Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Ajit Chodia, the Guest of Honor, Mr. Ranganath, the President of Focus, Mr. V. Suresh, office bearers, participants of this Chennai chapter launch, a very good evening to everybody. On this occasion, I would like to really appreciate and thank and congratulate all the office bearers who are taking charge for the Chennai chapter today for wonderful, eventful future for all of you as well as for the focus. At the outset, that focus is simply a platform where all the stakeholders of the critical utility services come together as one to bring the much needed change that I think the construction industry is in need of. I represent the building industry, and probably most of you may be knowing one of the leading promoters who create ecosystems for reliable, sustainable, smooth and efficient and safe environment for transaction businesses, predominantly IT office space. As a promoter, I will achieve financial success, but my objective over and above the profit is to provide an ecosystem that is thriving and ever ready to face challenges of either nature's or man-made catastrophes. I believe this is a primary requirement that I must be able to offer to each and every person who is getting into my premise. Huge responsibilities are never achieved singularly. It is for this reason that we must all come together as one onto this platform of focus and dedicate our life for the good humanity and for the construction industry. I wish once again the Chennai chapter office bearers and the members a great success in the future also. Have a great evening, one and all.
As always, a very crisp, simple, yet powerful address. Thank you, Dr. Whalen. I'm now delighted to introduce to you the man of the evening, Dr. Kalirajan Shiva, who is the chairman-elect of the Chennai chapter and is officially assuming the responsibility this evening. Dr. Kalirajan has a doctorate in civil engineering and is a certified project management professional who has a rich project management experience in the nuclear industry. He was involved in setting up of nuclear power plants in India for 26 years since 1989. He has played a vital role in bringing up Kudangulam Nuclear Power Project Units 1 and 2 against the serious challenges it faced. Later in 2015, he joined L&T, where he was handling global nuclear business development. He has developed valuable relationships with global nuclear players from USA, France, the Russian Federation, and Germany. Since 2020, he's been the Deputy Dean of L&T Institute of Project Management and involved in training the senior executives of L&T in various aspects of project management. He was honored with a Special Contribution Award by NPCIL and a Lifetime Achievement Award for the role played in the development of nuclear sciences by Savita University. He is a fellow of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, fellow of Institution of Engineers India, and member of various other professional bodies. He's also a member of the Governing Council and Academic Council of various engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu. Recently, he has been selected as a member of the advisory board by EDF France for setting up their Center of Excellence for Nuclear Sciences in Mumbai. I now request Dr. Kalirajan to make his presentation, introducing his team and the vision he has for the Chennai chapter in particular and focus in general. The stage is yours, Dr. Kalirajan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ravi, for giving a wonderful introduction. I'm deeply honored to take over as the chairman of Chennai Chapter Focus. I'm really thankful to the National Management Committee to select me as a Chennai chapter chairman and show confidence on my capability. I feel that this is a wonderful opportunity for me to give back to the society after gained so many things from the society for so many years. Dear friends, I have a wonderful team in the Chennai chapter who is supporting me in all the activities. I take this opportunity to thank every one of my Chennai chapter team members for extending their fullest cooperation in this launch program. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Chennai chapter, I take the pleasure of inviting our chief guest of today, Mr. Ajit Chodia, and the guest of honor, Mr. Ranganath N. Krishna. Thank you very much, sirs, for joining us today and gracing this occasion of launch of our Chennai chapter. I'm also grateful to the support extended by our President, Mr. V. Suresh, Vice Presidents, Dr. C. Velan and Mr. Ashish Reheja, General Secretary, Mr. Narasimhan, Chairman, Policy and Advocacy, Mr. Ravishankar Thandavan, and the Regional Chair, South, Mr. Dominic. Thank you very much for the entire team of Focus Management. The industry today is going through a very, very tough time, and it is all the more important for us to come together and grow together so that we can make things happening. I'm really happy to introduce you the teams which are going to be the backbone of Chennai chapter's growth. I'm happy to introduce the Vice Chairman of Chennai chapter, Mr. N. Akilan, who is the Managing Director of Royal Envirotech. The area of expertise of Mr. Akilan is indoor air quality and kitchen ventilation. He has got more than 25 years of experience in this field. He is graduated in 1994, started working with MNCs such as Blue Star, later founded an air conditioning company called Royal Envirotech in 1999. Having wide experience of 25 years in indoor air quality and HVAC kitchen ventilation applications, he is presently the South India distributor for Ryder Singapore and Plasma Air USA. I'm really happy to have Mr. Akilan as a Vice Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Focus has identified 19 core areas as a core committee to be developed everywhere. And from the chapter of Chennai, I'm happy to announce the chairs for few of the core areas now. Mr. Namashivayam will be the chair for the Fire Core Committee. He is the Managing Director of Rana Fire Diligence Private Limited. He has got more than 40 years of experience. He is a retired District Fire Officer from Tamil Nadu Fire and Rescue Services Department and former head Fire and Safety in DLF Cyber City, Chennai. He is a recipient of Chief Minister's Gallantry Award for 2 times in the year 2005 and 2009 for the rescue events. He is a lead fire safety audit and risk assessment consultant. He is certified 5S lead assessor and certified fire investigator. He is a trainer for fire and safety, disaster management, and emergency evacuation. Mr. M.R. Krishnan will be the chair for the security. He is the executive director of AdTech Systems Limited. The area of expertise is security electronics, and he has got more than 30 years of experience in this field. Mr. Krishnan started his career as an entrepreneur to assemble computer systems in the year 1985. In 1989, he started AdTech Systems Limited, which is now a publicly listed company engaged in installing security electronic equipments to retail, commercial, and residential segments. AdTech is a pioneer in Sensormatic EAS systems in India and continues to hold a large market share. Atec also represents InView USA, Mobatic Germany, and few other leading companies in the security industry. Atec has its registered office in Chennai and branch offices in all metro cities. Mr. A. Ferno Susai will be the chair for HVAC. He is the founder and managing director of Air Design Engineered Solutions Private Limited with an area of expertise of MEP. He is an expert in HVAC systems, having more than 33 years of experience. He is a master in sociology and diploma in mechanical engineering, founder and principal trainer of Inception Training Academy. He is also president-elect in ISRE. Mr. Hari Prasad I will be the chair for IBMS and IT core area. He is the director and principal consultant of EBM Consultancy. His area of expertise is BMS, IBMS, and IoT. He has got more than 20 years of experience, and his experience in BMS, IBMS, ELV systems, energy management system, smart buildings, IoT, and smart cities. He has expertise in all business processes and verticals like sales, design, projects, commissioning, and audits. He has served in major BMS MNC companies like Sauterrace, Honeywell, and Siemens. He is IoT certified professional, Six Sigma certified. He is a member of ISRE, FSAI, Rata Chennai. He is a CWC member. ASHRE Chennai chapter secretary. Mr. Prakash Nandiwada will be the chair for BIM. He is presently the director engineering of CSPL. His area of expertise is BIM and VDAC, having 30 years of experience. He is a structural engineer with masters in computers, of having global experience in built environment, including design and engineering, project management, integrated project deliveries, value engineering, and digital transformation. Till recently, he served in William Harry India Private Limited as Associate Director for 14 years. Mr. Birla Bose will be the chair for Interior Spaces. He is the Managing Director of Apna Projects Private Limited. Their area of expertise is commercial interiors, and they are having more than 22 years of experience. Their expertise in executing multiple turnkey commercial interior projects across pan-India for offices, showrooms, financial institutions, and hospitality industries. I'm happy to introduce Mr. Arul as the chair for project management. He is the chairman and managing director of Arul Design and MEP Consultant. Area of expertise is MEP services, including HVAC, electrical, PHE, and fire services. He has got more than 36 years of experience in this field. His experience in design, contracting, and project management in MEP. He worked with Voltas Limited, Voltas International, JPLC MEP Consultant, ETA, Sterling and Wilson, Spectral Services Consultant, and ACOM. Arul Design is a leading MEP engineering consultancy firm started in 2012, handling projects in residential, commercial, offices, IT parks, theaters, theme parks, hospitals, etc. I have Mr. Hussain Lahiri, the youngest member in our committee, to head the plumbing core area. He is the Director of Product Development of Lahiri Valves. His area of expertise is valve audit and selection utility water management solution. He has got 12 years of experience. I'm happy to say that Hussain Lahiri is a BSc in aviation from University of Mumbai, and he is a commercial pilot licensed from Canada as well as India. After joining Lahiri Valves in March 2009, he took advantage of the rich history and strong market share in South India to expand the company across the world. Today, which has grown to be the market leaders in the infrastructure and industrial segment. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the core committee, The Chennai chapter has formed executive committees, 9 executive committees for various areas. They'll be handling various functions, and the lead from each of the functional committees will be forming part of the executive committee. I'm really happy to introduce you all the committees. The events committee is led by Mr. K. Venkatesh and supported by Mr. M.R. Krishnan and Mr. N.P. Prasad. Advocacy committee is headed by Mr. D. Balakrishnan and supported by Mr. Hussein Lairi and Mr. Justin. The learning and training committee is headed by Mr. Prakash Nandiwada and supported by Mr. Rajesh G, Raj Pillai and Suresh. The technical committee is headed by Mr. Mansoor and supported by Mr. Prakash Nandiwada and Mr. Balakrishnan. The finance committee is headed by Mr. N.P. Prasad and supported by Mr. Shanmugam and Mr. Ashok Kumar. Policy committee is headed by Mr. Sayani Haribabu and is supported by Mr. Hari Prasad. Communication committee is headed by Mr. Hari Prasad and supported by Mr. Justin and Mr. Gauri Shankar. Membership committee is headed by Mr. Ashok Kumar and supported by Mr. M.R. Krishnan, Mr. Birla Bose and Mr. Balamuthu Kumar. The students committee is headed by Hussein Lairi and supported by Mr. Raj Pillai. These are the committees which are going to really help chairman and vice chairman of the Chennai chapter to take the chapter ahead in all the ways. Ladies and gentlemen, with the support of this wonderful Chennai chapter team and the support of the national team, I'm sure we will grow higher and higher and make everything possible. Thank you very much to all of you for your blessings for this team. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Kalirajan, for introducing your Vice Chair, Mr. Akhilan, and your team at the Chennai chapter. We wish you and your team the very best. We are delighted to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Chodia, Managing Director, Olympia Group. Mr. Ajit Chodia did his mechanical engineering from the College of Engineering, Gindi, Chennai. He joined the family automobile business, Kivraj Motors, a highly successful and reputed automobile dealership for Maruti, Bajaj, and Honda. Under the leadership of Mr. Ajit Chodia, the diversifications began from the family-run business with the launch of the Olympia Group, which today is a leading promoter and builder across India of industrial, commercial, residential apartments, townships, co-living facilities, schools, and software technology parks, prominent of which is the Olympia Tech Park in Chennai. Shri Ajit Chodia steered his company into the renewable energy sector as early as 1996 by investing in solar and wind power. Today, the group has a combined portfolio of 20 megawatt in solar and wind energy. Mr. Ajit Chodia is and has been associated with several trade and social bodies. He is chairman at CREDAI for Legal and Litigations Wing, co-chairman of the Indian Green Building Council IGBC Chennai chapter, past president CREDAI Tamil Nadu 2017 to 2019, past president of the Confederation of Real Estate Developers Association of India, CREDAI, past committee member of the Indian Roads Transport and Development Association IRTDA Chennai, past president of the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association 2002-2003, past chairman of the Motor Vehicles and Allied Industries Association Chennai 2001 to 2002. He is also a Rotarian, having held the position of president of the Rotary Club of Madras, Tinagar, from 2001 to 2000. From 2000 to 2001, I beg your pardon. Mr. Ajit Chodia regularly interacts with government and opinion makers for propagating the growth and development of the real estate industry for green sustainable developments. Mr. Chodia was awarded Senior Fellowship of Indian Green Building Council in 2018. With such eminent connect with industry, especially in the real estate space, I'm sure the Olympia Group will find value for its association with the Forum of Critical Utility Services. His contribution to education field has also been immense with his active participation. He was Associate Secretary of the S.S. Jain Educational Society, an 80-year-old body engaged in running 2 colleges, 6 schools, some of the prestigious among them being the A.M. Jain College, Meenambakam, and the Shasan Jain College for Women, T. Nagar. Trustee of Anand Tirth Foundation and the Kivraj Foundation. The family trust is in the process of establishing a higher secondary school in Chennai. Mr. Chodia is well known for his philanthropy. He is the chairman of the Kivraj Memorial Dialysis Center, a unit of the S.S. Jain Medical Relief Society, which runs a subsidized dialysis center. The group's CSR activities include its active support to the cause of Shankara Netralaya, the Hindu Mission Hospital, Cancer Research Foundation, Chennai, Rajasthan Association, Tamil Nadu, Enrico Peprano Tennis Trust, JITO Administrative Training Foundation, and Chennai Vision Charitable Trust. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Chodia, for you.
Respected President, Mr. Suresh, guest of honor, Mr. Ranganath, Vice President, Mr. Ashish Rakheja, Dr. Velan, Chairman of to be newly installed Chennai chapter, Dr. Kalairajan Shiva, General Secretary, Mr. Narsimhan, distinguished members and invitees. I feel honored and privileged to be here amidst esteemed professionals. You must all be engineers, but mere love for engineering would not have brought you here. You are here because of your deep passion for engineering excellence, and for this, there is no better platform than Focus. When I look at evolution of buildings, I'm quoting buildings because I'm from the building industry. I find that post-independence, over a long period of time, architecture was the focus. The buildings respected sustainability. The architect was sensitive to the use of local material, natural lighting, and ventilation. With the influence of foreign architecture, these fundamentals were compromised. There was indiscriminate use of glass, among others. Construction was less sustainable. The use of local material and natural lighting and ventilation was compromised. These buildings became power guzzlers and were not so environment friendly. Coming of the new millennium, we saw, along with contemporary architecture, sustainability being embraced. We saw the birth of CII IGBC, which formulated a unique code to guide and measure sustainability in green building developments. While infrastructure is being created, adhered to the unique parameters of performance, it still lacked benchmarking the same on productivity, safety, and quality. While a building was built along sustainability principles, however, some of them during their operation and maintenance phase, a number of parameters would get compromised, and the buildings would not continue to perform as envisaged. An institutional framework integrating various aspects of contemporary building, incorporating different services, is the need of today. Having just an architect and MEP consultant for a building are not good enough. Today, we even split the MEP profession among multiple experts and have to bring in specialists to design and take care of aspects like solid waste management, rainwater harvesting, vertical transportation, illumination, traffic, among others. These experts are required not only for planning and construction, but are also for operation and maintenance of the built infrastructure. With each person typically working in silos, there is a strong need for a common platform for these experts in order to evolve an institutional framework. This will ensure better coordination and cost efficiency for all stakeholders. I'm sure Focus will fill this vacuum and its work will result in high productivity without compromising on safety and reliability, thereby meeting the requirements of high performance and resilient infrastructure, which is the need of the hour. I would like to congratulate Dr. Kali Rajan for taking over as the chairman of the Chennai chapter, and I'm delighted to announce Olympia Group would seek the corporate membership of this particular body, and Olympia and its entire team of professionals working in Olympia would like to be associated with Focus Chennai chapter. I would also like to thank Mr. Ravi, Chairman Advocacy, for having invited me for this evening. Wishing Focus all the best in its endeavor. Godspeed.
Thank you, Mr. Chordia. Spoken like a true leader. Those are words of appreciation for our forum. With your presence in construction field, it's only obvious that you have such an in-depth understanding of the value that Focus will bring to the table. The support of the Olympia Group by your commitment to become a part of Focus simply reinforces the value and the confidence you attach to Focus. We're thankful and await to warmly welcome the Olympia Group as a corporate member of the Forum of Critical Utility Services. Thank you once again, Mr. Chordia, and deep appreciations. After hearing to such an inspirational address, we have this evening another eminent person who has been known for his humility and passion for water conservation, and actually is a water ambassador. Our guest of honor this evening for the launch of the Chennai chapter is Mr. Ranganath N. Krishna. He was the managing director of Grundfos Pumps India Private Limited from its inception in February 1998 till his retirement in March 2020. He is an independent consultant and a director on the board of several listed and non-listed companies and is on the advisory boards of a couple of NGOs. Right through his working life, he has credited his success to his ability in building good and passionate teams. His philosophy has been that organization structures are only for administration purposes, and as far as work goes, teams are often more important than brilliant individuals. He's a strong believer in minimal hierarchy and is of the opinion that teams need a good blend of thinkers and doers. I simply love his quote that leading and following when required are two sides of the same coin. Mr. Ranganath has been working for 40 years in marketing, sales, design, project management, finance, HR, business strategy, and general management. He's from the 1980 batch of XLRI Business Management, post a degree in mechanical engineering from College of Engineering, Guindy, and has worked in manufacturing and projects both in India and overseas. He has been the past president of the Madras Management Association, MMA, past chairman of the Tamil Nadu State Council of CII, and past chairman of AEEE, Alliance for an Energy Efficient Economy. He has been on the national committees of CII for skill development, manufacturing, CSR, water, etc., and is now on the advisory board of the CII Triveni Water Institute. A person who has traveled extensively to over 50 countries and someone who's had the experience of collaborating and working with people from over 30 countries, I'm sure has a wealth of knowledge that we at Focus can draw our learnings from. For we are also in the collaborative space. We are bringing together all the verticals of the critical utility services in order to aid in delivering coordinated and concerted efforts towards achieving and delivering projects that are not just sustainable and resilient, but are also safe, and that is our goal. I now request our guest of honor, Mr. Ranganath, to address the audience.
Ajit Chodia, Suresh, Velan, Dr. Kalirajan, Ashish Rakeja, and Ravi, and all the others who are watching their screens now or listening on the phone, I wish you all a very good afternoon. It is indeed nice to see many who have been my friends for a long years on this platform. When I read about the qualifications and the abilities some of you have, I actually am feeling undereducated or even uneducated. The relevance of a forum like Focus cannot be underestimated, and I'm glad that this initiative has been taken to have a holistic view on critical utility services. Personally, I would recommend that Focus should take a holistic view of all services, as we don't know what becomes critical, especially in today's world. They say a chain is as strong as its weakest link, and a study of failures in many places have clearly indicated that some of the most innocuous parts that fail in a system have been successful in shutting down entire organizations for days. So the relevance of Focus, like I said, cannot be underestimated. Ajit spoke about silos operating in organizations, and this really is the issue. I'm glad that Focus is bringing various bodies, individuals, and organizations on a common platform to make buildings more sustainable and resilient. Buildings, as we all know, are the greatest guzzlers of power and water, normally speaking, and more so if they're not designed with sustainability in view. A building to me is a vibrant living being which has to be designed taking local conditions, local culture, and the purpose for which it is built. It has to embody the values of its owner or occupier. Again, as Ajit said, we need more and more experts these days. An expert, in my mind, and rightly so, is one who knows more and more about less and less. So how then do we bring in a holistic view? How do we connect all the pieces in a jigsaw puzzle to make a beautiful picture? How do we build in resilience to deal with future natural and man-made calamities? Experts are vital, but getting the experts together is even more vital. This is where a forum like Focus gains relevance, but ideas will remain ideas if not implemented. And as these Indians, we have this inherent weakness in implementing. I'm not being derogatory about us, but we have to be honest about certain things. We are great thinkers and planners and policymakers, but fairly poor doers. So I would urge all of you on this platform to work together in cross-functional teams and build a cadre of people that will use common sense and good engineering practice, not only to design something, but also to build, run, and maintain it. For that, you must have an open mind, open eyes and ears, and must be willing to share knowledge. Most important, sharing of knowledge. The ability to take a good concept and use it to advantage in a totally different field will enable people to build resilience, and the best teacher is nature. We need to mimic nature and not to fight it. All beings that are alive according to nature's laws live according to nature's laws, except human beings who think they can defy and overcome nature. By now, common sense should have told us that we should have sustainable solutions, we should consume less, recycle, and reuse. Some of us have started living our lives this way. That's why we are on this platform. You're all converted, but then common sense is no longer common. And we have a lot of people who think only for themselves and never for the good of the community. The question is then, what kind of a world are we leaving behind for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren? Can we leave behind a world better than the one we inherited? Can our grandchildren and great-grandchildren have access to clean air, clean water, etc.? Or all these have to be bought in bottles in future? Focus, I think, is a platform that can bring about this change, not just in buildings, but also in the mindsets of people. Having taken a helicopter view, let's now come to ground level. I've seen in many a case architects ignore engineering, engineers ignore design, and consultants ignore ease of maintenance. Buildings are sometimes designed in such a way that they become very difficult to build or maintain. Engineers and consultants ignore aesthetics, ease of maintenance, and focus on initial cost rather than life cycle cost. And with a very good reason, because in almost all cases, the developer or the owner of the building is pushing them to take such decisions. What this forum has to do is to publish papers on best engineering practices based on life cycle cost and design buildings in such a way that they are not only built green, but remain green right through their life. The green building movement is vibrant in India. Mr. Suresh is heading it. There are a lot of my friends here on this platform or also on that platform, but it should be the standard and not an exception. The members of this forum should set the standards and follow them. We see that not many private or government players allocate budgets for repairs and maintenance of buildings and the utilities inside them, including critical utilities. We must put in effort to do this all the time. We actually put in the best of air conditioning systems, the most efficient systems. We have the most efficient pumping systems and perhaps the best air filters when we build a new building. But do we put in instruments to measure and verify if they're working right? Do we invest in them? No. We hardly invest in measurement and verification instruments to see if they are working. And in a few years, as occupancy goes up or changes or additions are made to the building, many of the systems that were originally meant to work in a way, that were intended to work in a way, do not work. For example, a fire fighting system is not tested regularly in many buildings and fails to operate when a fire occurs. The people occupying the building are not trained regularly to use the systems that they have and hence fail when there is a critical event. It is important that we measure and verify on a regular basis and have the budget to maintain the systems. What gets measured, gets reviewed, and gets improved. Let me give you a few examples in real life. In the year 1982, outside India, I was erecting small diesel power stations of about 4 to 7 megawatt each. In one of those stations, the building was designed by the architect, built by the builder without bringing in the utility consultant or engineers. I was the contractor, and we found that there was no way we could place the engine and the generator inside the building on its raised foundation, as no crane could enter the building, and neither could the generator go in as the door was too small. We had to break the walls on one side, push the generators in, and to lift the generators up, we had to make a hole in the ceiling and get the hoists of the crane in. Good teamwork would have made sure we got it right the first time. Getting things right the first time saves a lot of time and money. And today we have all the tools and the software to virtually check everything before building, and yet we go wrong sometimes. We just need to work together at the concept stage and right through the project. And this is where focus, I think, is very, very relevant. I've also come across many cases of over or undersizing equipment, pipelines, cables, etc. Oversizing equipment because everyone wants to add a margin of safety and design for full occupancy, which may not be when the project starts, but may happen years after. Undersized cables and pipes to save on costs, but not considering that the running costs will increase right through the life of that building, and buildings last a long time. A thinner cable or a smaller diameter pipe means higher power consumption through the life of the building. In the case of India's most expensive residence, and I'm not taking names, one would have thought they would have used the best of designers. But they built a pump room without thinking about the pumping system sizes. And there was a request to us that we should cut down the size of the pumping system to fit the pump room. It's like saying, I will make a shirt based on the cloth that I have, even though it won't fit me. Obviously, they had to rebuild the pump house. We had a few other cases where we were told our pumps are not delivering as per design, and especially in the chilled water systems. But we found undersized pipes and multiple bends in many cases. In one case, the pipeline was built after the building was built, and there was no effort made at the design stage to have an integrated approach to design. There was no space even for removing and replacing the pipes. And we had to really do this and ask the customer to repipe the whole system, and after that it worked. The approach to design should not be to get everyone, or should be, the approach to design should be to get everyone on board at the design stage itself, including the equivalent people in all the organizations and the equipment vendors, and ensure we get everything right the first time. A lot of forethought should go into the aspect of service and maintenance of the building and the equipment which is inside it while designing the building and the utilities, especially for critical services. The quality of work and aesthetic should not be ignored. Everything should look good and be easy to service and maintain. Finally, we should have a mindset of not compromising on the quality and reliability of whatever we choose to use in our building. What we require what we have chosen should be of the best quality that of that variety of equipment or services that we give. I wish all of you the very best and thank Valen and Ravi for having invited me to speak at this event. Wish you all the best. And after this event, I am sure I will become a member of this forum. I'm very interested in seeing how we sort of can get some holistic approach to the entire aspect of critical services as well as design. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ranganath, for that wonderful address. Your speech was truly inspirational. The way you wove in all aspects of the critical utility services and presented with such lovely anecdotes that I'm sure we have all a lot to draw inspiration and learnings from your address there, sir. Thank you very much for your time this evening, and we will certainly cherish this address of yours. Thank you once again, Mr. Ranganath. I now have the honor of inviting our Vice President Focus, Mr. Ashish Rakeja. Mr. Ashish Rakeja is partner at Aeon Consultants and has a postgraduate degree in thermal engineering from IIT Delhi with over 28 years of work experience. He's a seasoned consulting engineer who has designed over 3,000 projects, including hotels, airports, hospitals, retail, residential, commercial, high-rises, and industrial projects. Mr. Ashish Rakeja specializes in high-performance buildings and has been actively involved in leading design activities of electromechanical services for 10 net zero energy buildings and over 60 platinum-rated green projects in India. He's spearheading the green building movement in India in capacity of role as chairman, Technical Committee of Indian Green Building Council, IGBC. Mr. Rakeja is also a board member at ASHRAE USA. Mr. Rakeja has won many awards and delivered over thousands of talks on various facets of building design across the world. He's an active member of over 20 technical societies and regularly contributes his time on writing standards, codes, and position papers for government bodies and technical societies. He's involved in imparting training to budding architects in the field of building services and a visiting faculty at leading schools in India. Mr. Ashish Rakeja, along with a team of dynamic sustainability experts and engineers, share a dream of Vikal, which is an alternate approach to design by moving away from age-old practices. Their mantra of thinking out of the box paved way for creating Aeon Integrated Building Design Consultants LLP. Mr. Ashish Rakeja, for you.
Namaskar, friends. I hope and pray to God that all of you are safe, your family members and your friends are doing well. The country is going through an extremely tough time. The second wave of COVID has caught us by surprise. As now the country emerges out of it slowly, I'm happy that we could all get together for launch of the second chapter of Focus in South India. I'm grateful to the entire Chennai team for taking up this leadership, and also my friend Ravi, Velan Saab, and our regional chairman for South, Dominic. The Focus is led by our dynamic chairman, who are always referred to as energetic, ever young chairman, to go to the next level of its success. Suresh Saab, listening to him is always a pleasure. He's a man who's an encyclopedia and can talk on any subject for any length of time. Choradia Saab, our chief guest for the day, Mr. Ranganathan, guest of honor, the fellow members of Focus, Velan Saab, co-chairman of Focus, and friends. Thank you once again for being here. Mr. Ajit Choredia very rightly picked up the point regarding the growing complexity of the buildings. He very beautifully brought out the point that even in the electromechanical field, the specialities are growing. It reminds me of the medical profession. I was listening this morning to Sadhguru, where he talked about how a few years back, we all used to go to a general physician, but now there are specialists for everything. Similarly, in our field of engineering, in building construction, also the similar evolution is taking place, where specialization is growing. But as correctly said by Choredia Sahab, they all operate in silos, design in silos. And the same thing goes, especially becomes more crucial when we say what we say is critical utilities. Focus is a platform of professionals where we transcend the boundaries and get together to interact, which helps us to grow on personal fronts, professional fronts, and also to know each other for designing the buildings correctly. Just few days back, we heard about the cyclone Tokte, which came in Arabian Sea. The estimated losses are $2 billion to our country. You might remember cyclone Amphan, which came last year in May in Indian Ocean, and the losses to India were approximately $14 billion. And currently, cyclone Yas, which made its landing from Bay of Bengal, the losses are being counted. Of course, there are losses in terms of human lives, which are avoidable, but there are also losses on the economic front, where the country is set back by many years because of the financial losses that take place. The buildings offer a solution to those. Buildings should offer a solution to those. And that's where the critical utilities plays an important role. We now realize the importance of getting these professionals together on a common platform. So far, the focus was on design, but now we all realize as we move on to the next level of the building construction, the operations also play an important role. Focus is a unique platform, probably in the world, where the design professionals, construction professionals, owners, operation professionals, we all get together at one place. There is a need for such platforms to be there. And I'm happy that the focus is growing. The vision we founders had for the focus was exactly this. It will be something which will grow at a pace which will be commensurate to the importance of the subject. We have heard good things. We have heard right things from the people who have joined this forum. In less than a year, the forum is, or this platform has made its presence felt. As we are now getting beyond the administrative issues, because when you start a new platform, a new society, a new forum like this, there are a lot of administrative work to be done. As we put them behind, the focus is all set to grow. And this third chapter at Chennai is a testimony of the same. In coming days, you will hear about the chapters in North India. There'll be chapters in East India. All the places will be there. Thank you once again for coming together this evening. I'm happy to see this large presence of the professionals. And I look forward to you all becoming the members, those who are not already a member, and contributing to the cause. Thank you very much, and namaskar.
Thank you, Ashish ji, for those words of appreciation and support to Team Chennai. May we now have the video of our sponsor, Plasma Air, from Royal Envirotech, Chennai.
Your home is a safe haven, but when was the last time you considered the cleanliness of the air you breathe? Untreated air in your home can be filled with harmful pollutants like dust, pollen, mold spores, bacteria, viruses, pet dander, and volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. VOCs are chemicals that put off gas from our carpets, furniture, paint, and even cleaning products. Indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more contaminated than outdoor air. These pollutants can trigger asthma or allergies at any time and make you and your family sick. That's why you need a safe and effective air purification system to ensure that the air you breathe is clean and free of unsafe pollutants. Plasma Pure's air purification system will improve your indoor air quality using industry-proven and patented bipolar ionization technology. Plasma Pure replicates mountain air quality while reducing odors, mold, dust, harmful gases, and bacteria and viruses such as the flu, E. coli, staph, and MRSA by more than 86%. How does it do that? Well, the system produces high concentrations of both positively and negatively charged oxygen ions that neutralize airborne pollutants. Plasma Pure can easily be installed into your home's furnace, AC unit, or even ductwork. It's quick and simple. You don't get rid of your air filters. Ionization actually improves the effectiveness of the filters. Very small particles, which include viruses, can stay airborne almost indefinitely. Using Plasma Pure with your filters provides an excellent combination for cleaning your air. Said Barbara of Syracuse, New York, "My husband suffered for years with frequent headaches and sinus infections. Installing the Plasma Pure unit has made an incredible difference in the quality of his life, and we recommend it to anyone suffering with allergies." Get in touch with one of our local distributors to schedule your installation today, or visit plasma-air.com/residential. Breathe purer air in your home with Plasma Pure.
The General Secretary of any body shoulders immense responsibility of the running of an organization, and it is no different with ours as well. I now introduce the General Secretary of the Forum of Critical Utility Services, Mr. A.L. Narasimhan. He is Vice President, Strategic Business Alliances, Prama Hikvision India Private Limited. In his current role, he is developing the strategic business alliances for the company with the government, organizations, and industry bodies. He has vast experience spanning over 37 years in handling government agencies and public sector undertakings. He is known in the industry for excellence in project management and business development. He has implemented many successful projects in government verticals. In his extensive career in security products and systems business, he has set many new benchmarks in the project management. He is well known in the industry for his contribution to many successful projects. He has served the senior management positions with some of the leading organizations in India. Mr. A.L. Narasimhan, our General Secretary.
Namaste, good evening. I am A.L. Narasimhan, General Secretary, Focus. It's a great day that our Chennai chapter has been launched, and with this, one more feather in the cap of Focus has been added. Ever since its launch on 26th of October 2020, Focus has been growing from strength to strength, and today we have the third chapter being launched. Various activities in the form of formation of management councils as well as conduct of the webinar programs are already in place. As we move forward, more chapters are slated to be open in the coming months, and the activities are bound to improve as we go along. All the requirements in the form of statutory need of Focus have been taken care of, including the PAN and TAN registration. All that we need at this point of time is more people joining us as members to carry forward the activities and build the organization. We request each one of you to ensure that more members in the form of individual as well as corporate members join us so that the endeavor of focus can be taken forward. I look forward to meeting you all during my next visit to Chennai. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Narasimhan, for your words of wisdom, support, and praise for the Chennai chapter. I'm now delighted to introduce a very special person and a dear friend, Mr. KP Dominic, Regional Chairman South and Chairman Events. It was in Dominic that this idea of focus simmered for over 10 years and which finally took shape and emerged as a forum that is to bring all critical utility services of the construction industry and forge them into one strong wheel of change. Mr. KP Dominic has 33 years of successful and satisfying experience in the fire safety and security domains. He was also a founding member of FSAI, the Fire and Security Association of India, which was established in 2002. Served as its marketing and events chairman for over 11 years and as the president for 2 years. A committee member of the prestigious National Building Code, NBC. He has a corporate experience in DATS, Honeywell, and in Mircom as country head. He has been actively engaged in conducting tech talks and workshops and delivering motivational speeches for tech companies and holding over 250 seminars. He is our founder, regional chair for South and chairman of marketing and events for the Forum of Critical Utility Services, Focus. Mr. KP Dominic, for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dominic, the founding member and chairman of Events and Marketing in Focus. Today is a wonderful day to all the construction professionals in India. Chennai always sets an example to the rest of the country. And Chennai is my second city. I lived almost 7 years. With new government in place, we are looking forward prosperous state and growth in our industry. I appeal to all my friends to join Focus because this is the only forum where you can see entire different vertical coming together to build a resilient building. We need all professionals coming together. It will be a completely different association with a lot of meaningful topics, events, training programs that we intend to conduct over the years. Our mission is to bring all fraternal bodies together in Focus and work together as one family. So I congratulate the incoming chairman of Chennai, Dr. Kalirajan, and his team to make Chennai chapter a role model for the rest of the country. They are leading in members. I'm sure from today we will grow over 100 members in next 1 or 2 months in Chennai. We are here as a marketing team to support your activities and conduct a lot of programs to bring all the professionals together. I wish you all the best and good luck to the office bearers of Chennai chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic. That was, as usual, a very motivational speech, a very inspiring speech as you usually deliver. Thank you very much for those words of encouragement to the Chennai chapter and support from the central team. Thank you, Mr. Dominic. To conclude the event this evening, may I request our Vice Chair Chennai chapter, Mr. Akhilan, to deliver the vote of thanks. Mr. Akhilan there.
Good evening, everyone. A special warm greetings to all ladies and gentlemen. I am Akhilan, Vice Chairman of Focus Chennai chapter. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose vote of thanks on this wonderful occasions. First of all, a big thank to Mr. Ajit Chodia, Managing Director, Olympia Group, for having consented to our chief guest on this occasion and delivered his wonderful speech. Thank you, sir. I express my deep sense of gratitude to Mr. Ranganath N. Krishna Grand Force for accepting our request to be the guest of honor, gracing this occasion with his enlightening address. Thank you, sir. I am grateful to our National President of Focus, Mr. V. Suresh, for demonstrating his leadership and bringing up the focus together and gracing with his presence. And I may like to express my sincere thanks to Vice President Dr. C. Velan, Mr. Ashish Rageja, for giving an encouraging address on this launch. The special thanks to Dr. C. Velan for his excellent support to make this launch a grand success. And I also wish to express gratitude to General Secretary Narasimha for providing encouragement at all times. I am also grateful to Regional Chair South, Mr. Dominic, for his continuous support in making this event happening in scale of this nature. And we also would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Chairman Chennai Chapter Dr. Kali Rajan for exposing his theory of leadership in focus. We all are inspired by your great work. I also would like to thank our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Ravi Shankar Tandavan, for seamless contact of this launch event and his excellent support to Focus Chennai Chapter. I would like to place on record the excellent background work done by Focus Admin Group, especially Mr. Mamta and team, to create the event unforgettable one. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our heartily thanks to all our office bearers and the honorable members of Chennai chapter for the overall support and guidance they have extended to all of us at this occasion. Also extended my thanks to all the ladies and gentlemen who have participated in the program for the enormous cooperation in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, once again I want to state that we are all grateful to all the speakers of this event. We thank you all once again for being with us on this occasion. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay safe, stay home.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With this, the launch of the Chennai chapter comes to a conclusion. Thanks to each one of you for actively participating and being a part of the Chennai chapter launch. We are deeply in gratitude for your participation this evening and wish you a very safe and a healthy life. Thank you very much. Cheers and good evening.